Hi, welcome to Golden Years. I'm Lori Betts, and this month I have two special guests from the Cleveland Sight Center. Tom and Alicia are going to be sharing with us all about this wonderful gem in Cleveland, Ohio. So come on back and we're going to hear all about many tools.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Welcome back to Golden Years. I am interviewing Tom Sawyer and Alicia Hawerton from the Cleveland Sight Center. And working at GTB for many, many years, a lot of my customers come in and they need help, tools for better vision. And they always come in and they say, what do you have? Well, I have the lower magnification. And for years, I've been telling them to please go check out the Cleveland Sight Center. I said, I know they have a store, so I need to be educated today because I don't know if it's a big store or if I'm telling them just to go somewhere in a little closet. So you are here to share with my viewers what you can share with them and what's available. Because as we age and as we change, number one, our eyesight does change. And Alicia's going to share her story with us. So where do we want to begin?
Well, our agency is a full-service agency. We're a rehabilitation agency, meaning we're non-medical, and we help people with the vision that they have left. We don't try to improve their vision other than our low vision clinic has prescriptions that offer low vision exams. So it's all about how to use the vision they have left, whether it's products, whether it's strategies, or whether it's protocols. Now, because someone has a magnifier or finds something that may work that may not be optimal for them, they may not be using it properly. And there's all different types of magnifiers. So situations, our rehabilitation services helps people understand what's available, but also understand what their needs are. Most people come in and they don't really know what their needs are. So we ask questions. We do home visits. We do a number of different things through the IL program here in Medina County. So that those things can be assessed, if you will, as far as what might be needed. But we also go into retirement communities as well, and we offer a 6-week program. I believe it's 6 weeks. It changes from time to time. But if there's a certain group of people that have low vision, we go into those as well. So tons of different things that we do and have. But to answer your question, actually, the store has or has had in variations 500 to 900 items that are available to help people with vision loss.
Amazing.
And our staff that staff the store are both low vision people. And so not only do they live it at work, they live it at home. So we encourage people to call in because we don't put everything in our catalog. Our catalog basically has like 50 items, and we'll be having a new catalog coming out. So. But the 50 items will be very similar to those types of things that are in the catalog now, maybe a bit different. But so really it's about, how can I do this? I'm having trouble with this. Is there something I can do? How do I become a client? All those different things come up in this.
And Mrs. Jones probably appreciates when she walks in that door because she's fearful of her eyesight and her changes. So to talk to an experienced person who's living what she's going through, it's got to be just a wealth of information for her.
Yes, in fact, sometimes when people come in, they aren't, they'll come in just to come into the store because they don't even want to admit to anybody that they're losing their vision. So if they can walk away with maybe a check register or a signature guide, that can help them stay independent, you know, and just to find out, well, maybe I could become a client of the agency if need be.
And I'm sure a lot of seniors hide it from their children
Yes.
Oh, they do,
because they don't want to leave the home.
right?
And I'm sure it all starts out in baby steps,
Right.
you know, with the changes of the eyes.
It does.
Yeah.
As
There
a-
are, oh, go ahead.
As a matter of fact, many people don't even realize that they have low vision. They just think it's a part of aging. We just heard a story with someone they didn't realize what they'd been missing for years. Their whole lifestyle changed because they had a cataract and they didn't want to go to the doctors to get it taken off. When they finally did, they were able to then go out at night. They said, they swore actually, because they were so like eureka kind of a
Oh,
thing, but in
yeah,
different
yeah.
words. And it wasn't from around here, but it was a story that I heard. And the lifestyle dramatically changed again, but they cramped, or they made their lifestyle smaller to accommodate this thing that was, in this case, was operable, was able to be changed. And so people don't recognize that. So when we go out into the communities, which we do often, we tell people, we try to attract people who may not even understand that they have low vision by the way we talk and the way we have our flyers go out. Just you're having trouble getting the key in the door. How much can lighting help? Lighting can make a tremendous difference.
Oh, I'm sure. You know, because sometimes if it's like, and I notice it too now when I build puzzles. I mean, just to have that extra light
Right.
above me, it's like, oh wow,
Yeah.
this is great.
The lighting is key. Not only what lighting, but where you place it. Anybody over 25, I say, should never use lighting that's above your eyes to do tasks, like puzzles or anything. Your light should be below your eyes, illuminating what you're working on, but not in your eyes.
Oh, very good point.
Try that. Even when you put your hands above your eyes, when there's lighting from above, you'll notice a dramatic difference. You can't see through the light the same way you can as you focus on that. And just as illustration of that, even the television shows, you don't know why they're doing that. You often say, why on the police shows, why don't they turn on the lights? There's a murder, but there wasn't an electricity problem. Well, that's because they're using those lights to see the detail of what's going on, rather than light getting in the room. Or even trying to find a contact, you use a flashlight. It used to be, anyways. They used to use a flashlight to be able to do those types of things. So it's much better. The detail is much better. And so when we give our talks, I say to people, the people that I'm generally talking to, I said, we've all have had big lamps on the side of our couches or sofas, and we go over and if we have something we want to see, we put that under the lamp. We don't stick our head under the lamp to go see that. We just put the piece of material. Now I know that's being a little dramatic, but
True,
but
but
the idea is that you can see it much better. As if it was that way. Why didn't you just hold it up higher to the light that's above? If that was the case, it's isolating.
So you are an outreach team that goes everywhere, full of just wonderful, wonderful scenarios, information. Are you welcomed? I mean, are people like excited to hear you guys talk? Good responses?
I think so, for the most part. We used to be a little bit passive, have people come to us, but we have found that being more proactive and letting people know that we are here, we're available. A lot of people, there's a stigma attached. We used to be called the Cleveland Society for the Blind, and years ago we changed that because most people aren't totally blind. They have low vision and or are just legally blind. So a lot of people didn't want to contact us because, you know, there's a stigma attached to being blind. So, but yes, we are received very well. I know we had an event last evening, and there were several people there very interested, even people who don't have low vision or having any kind of vision problem, just learning, you know, how can they help.
That's wonderful.
Because that's part of what we do. We educate staff as well at different facilities, but we educate the companions. We tell them how to use the clock method to say where your peas are, where your mashed potatoes are on the plate. So you're at my 12 o'clock if I'm looking right at you, and so if your P's were over here at 3, you'd know when you were in the, you'd tell me my P's are over here at 3 o'clock, so I'd be able to get the things that I needed to get to where I wanted to seamlessly. I was just out with lunch, now it's 2 days ago, with someone who is born blind, no vision perception at all. And the waitress, the server, brought the drink over, and it says it's 12 o'clock and the straw's behind. He just reached over, and it wasn't like it was clumsy. It was like we were engaging. It's not something to be afraid of. It's not something, you are helping a person to be just like everybody else. If he was having trouble with math, I would have pulled out my phone and I used the calculator. I mean, so it's not really any different than that, because people who are blind or have low vision can do virtually everything except brain surgery, dismantle bombs, and things of that nature because of coloring. But they can do virtually everything. It may take a little longer, and they may need to have a little bit more patience. But that's where we come in, not with the patience part, but we come in with the strategies and the protocols. We sometimes need to be a little more patient because people want to do things for the last 40 years, the next 20 years the way they've done them for the last 40 years. And that doesn't always work as well. But there are solutions, and there's many of them. There's low tech, there's high tech. The simple thing that I'm going to bring here right now is this lined paper. It's bold lined paper. It comes in full and half sheets. But people have to write bigger so they can see it. And sometimes they still have to put another magnifier to see it once they've written it. And so the bold lines help them. It's double-sided. Coffee or typing on the computer. There's all different types of things, like this little, you can actually get a large print keyboard, or if you don't really want to do that, you can peel off these stickers, or have someone peel off these stickers, and they stay quite long, actually. I wasn't surprised, but they do stay a long time on there, but you peel them off, and they come in black background with white, and also the white with a black background. So there's a number of different things from helping coffee, but you really want to know, because you had asked about some tips and different things. One of the things that, as having been the assistive technology, that's the electronics guy for the last 10 years, one of my favorite tools is the bump dots. And I'm going to let Alicia tell you about the use of bump dots.
Oh, okay, all right. They help keep you acclimated on anything that you're doing, whether it's your keyboard. I have a couple of them on the F and the J key, and then my tab key, just so I'll know where I'm at when using the computer. You can put them on your washer, dryer, microwave, stove, and you don't want to place them on just everything, because that would be just as confusing as having nothing. But they come in various colors and sizes, and most of us do have some usable vision. Only about 3 to 4% of the blind population is without total vision. So high contrast orange is a really great color. Maybe you need a different color. And they come in different sizes because of, depending upon why you're losing your vision. Maybe you have diabetes, so you're losing the feeling in your fingers. So they come in square and taller and everything. And they do last a very long time. And not just bump dots, but there's something called spot and line, and it's similar to puffy paint. And it's tactile, raised, so maybe on your remote control you could put a V where the volume control is, or that type of thing. So and have it raised, and they last a very long time.
Except over the stovetop, when the microwave's above the stovetop, because the constant heat and steam that's coming up from cooking.
Won't melt it?
Well, that won't melt those, but the glue, it actually kind of
Like steams the glue off, like
steams
steaming
the
an
glue off,
envelope.
yeah.
Yeah.
But a little bit more, because these are put on surfaces that may have no orientation whatsoever, like the 5 on their microwave. Or where's the popcorn button? Where's the popcorn thing for putting the popcorn in? That way it gives you the orientation that the 2 is above the 5, and so on and so forth, so you know where the numbers are to do that. So this little thing, what I started out with, is probably my most favorite item to give the most independence of anything
Really?
other than electronic devices. Now, everything will give more independence. Like,
So much we take for granted.
Right.
That's,
so like, if Alicia wants a cup of coffee, she doesn't want to put her finger in there to tell when
Yeah,
she's at
'cause
the
it's hot.
top of the coffee. So this is a liquid level indicator she's going to do.
Right, you put it on the side of your cup or glass with the prongs inside the cup, and when the fluid hits the prongs, it beeps. And so you know to stop pouring, because most of us do use our finger. And you know, if you're pouring cold liquid, that's okay, but if you're pouring hot liquid, and if you're pouring liquid for somebody else, you certainly don't want your finger in somebody else's cup of coffee or something.
Really?
Yeah. So,
And there's several different models. This one has a 9-volt battery, and the other one plays It's a Small World or something. And this one,
it's a
and
small world
we
after
also
all.
look at the whole person. We don't look at their disability, but we have to understand their disability to work with their
understand
abilities.
their abilities.
And I'm sure no
Yes.
two people are the same.
They are
No.
not. And so people ask us especially the last 10 years, they say, so what are people buying? What's the best product? And I say, I've got it for you. It's the one that works for the person.
Good point.
Whatever works best for you, because what might work best for me might not work best for, you know, Aunt Susie or somebody. So,
We are going to take a quick break, and then we are going to return, and we're going to hear more about the outreach team of Tom and Alicia from the Site Center. So come on back.
Hi, I'm Ed Zachary with Medina County Veterans Service Office. And if you're a veteran and you're in a crisis, or worse yet, contemplating suicide, I want you to pick up the phone and call the Veterans Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255. Do it now.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
Welcome back to Golden Years. I am interviewing Tom and Alicia from the Cleveland Site Center. Alicia is going to share her story with us on your site. So
okay.
do share.
Okay, or lack thereof.
Or lack, yeah. Or lack.
All right, I have been visually impaired for about 40 years. And I started losing my vision about 16, 17 years old, and wasn't legally blind till I was about 19. And legally blind means at least 20 over 200 with the best correctable vision possible in the better eye. And 20 over 200 means that you would have to be no more than 20 feet away from something that's 200 feet long in order to see it, where you, as a average vision person, 20 over 20, you could be 200 feet away and see the same thing. So my vision is about 20 over 3,000. If you want to put a number on it, I say it's like looking through sheets of wax paper with blind spots. So if you took a marker and marked up like I know my whole hand is here, but I can't see my whole hand. So only about 3 to 4% of the blind population is without total vision. Most of the rest of us have some usable vision. So a lot of the tools and techniques we teach at the agency can help a lot of people. I'm a great advocate for the agency because I didn't know about Cleveland Site Center for about the first 20 years of my vision loss, and really wished I would have. It wouldn't have made things easier because when you're losing your vision, you go through all the stages of grief, just like losing a loved one. And you know, there's unfortunately shame attached to it, and anger, and all those things, so you have to go through that. But it would have made those steps of losing vision go a little bit smoother. had I known that there was help out there for me. And I might have done things differently in life. You know, I kind of had to just fumble through learning how to cook and how to raise my children, and, you know, knowing that I could only see certain things. So, you know, I dressed them in brightly colored clothes if we went to the park and that kind of thing. So I would know, and never, you know, they didn't get out of my 3 feet of visual field that I had. So, but I may have used a cane a lot sooner than I did. And it wasn't until about 20 years after starting to lose my vision, somebody finally, an eye doctor, told me, well, have you ever used Cleveland Sight Center services? No, never heard of them. So, and at that time, all I really wanted was to know how to get from point A to point B. So I had a wonderful orientation and mobility instructor. They came out to my home and helped me learn how to cross my streets where I live and go through my neighborhood and that type of thing using a cane. Didn't use my cane a whole lot. My family, my husband, didn't want me to. Didn't want me to be identified by this. They thought I would be vulnerable. So my kids and everybody, you know, they still do it. You know, they're adults. I have grandkids even, and they still say step up, step down, all that when we're out and about together. Even though I do have my cane, which is an extension of my hand to let me know where I'm going. And then my daughter and granddaughter moved away in 2008, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I had terrible empty nest syndrome, so I contacted Cleveland Sight Center again and went, said, you know, I want to do something. I can't even be a Walmart greeter because I can't see. So what am I going to do? And they said I'd be great as a dispatcher, whether it was emergency or non-emergency, but I lacked skills. All those years of, you know, technology growing, and, you know, we are now a computer world, can't do anything unless you use a computer. Well, I'd never even turned one on. So in November of 2009, I came back to the agency and went through keyboard training to learn how to use a keyboard. And then I used a software program called JAWS. It stands for Job Access with Speech. And so you as a sighted person probably use a mouse and you look at a monitor. I don't do either. I use the keyboard using various keystrokes and listen with a headset to everything that's going on the monitor, whether it's a website, a spreadsheet, an email, a Word document. I can do all those things.
You have to have a lot of patience.
You do. Patience sometimes has to be your middle name, sometimes your first name, whether it's waiting on transportation, learning how to do something differently because you can't use your vision anymore to do that, because we live in a very visual world. Everything is set up for your vision, because probably everything we do in life, probably 90% of it is through your vision. And so we have to learn how to use our other senses in order to do the same things.
But not everybody does the same thing. It's like when you go look at a new car, you don't necessarily, or get a new phone, you don't necessarily know or even use all the different things. It's you use what you want to use. You use what you want to use. So while we say it takes this long to do this, it takes this long to do this, it doesn't if that's not what you want to do. The independence is there. We know all the extent that where we can get you, or you can get yourself with our direction. But whether that's where you want to go or you're inclined to do that. There's high-tech solutions, there's low-tech solutions, there's all different types of things. There's things coming from around the world. I'm connected around the world with people. New technology all the time. Does that mean it's better? No, not necessarily. There's products that we've had that were fantastic, and then they started to make them what they thought better, and we don't sell them anymore because they're not better.
Oh, I see. That's
because we're interested in the person. We're not interested in the products. The products are a way to give independence. And that's what we're interested in, is giving independence, giving joy, giving hope. We have an employment service that we help people who are 70 to 80% of the people who want to work who have visual impairment are unemployed or underemployed. Because what happens is people say, well, I don't want to do that. And that's not true. They can do so many things. Alicia, people are amazed by Alicia and the way she navigates and does things and the way she's talking.
She does a beautiful job. Beautiful.
And so, but many people can do that given the opportunity. So employment services, we have preschool, we have rehabilitation agency, we have one of the oldest and one of the largest camps in the United States that people could go out
90 years this year.
Out in Chardon. There's a number of things that it's not just for little kids. It was started for adults. There's an in-ground pool, and the housing is indoors. It's not tents. So,
So
They
is
do
it
have
like
tents though.
Oh, wow.
so there's just a tremendous amount of different things. They have tandem bike riding, recreation in on the towpath. I
the
volunteered.
best kept secret.
It's just wonderful. I'm
sometimes-
sorry, you go ahead. I get so excited.
Social and therapeutic recreation is very important because everybody likes to do fun things, but if those things are taken away because you can't see, you become reclusive and you just sit and you don't do things.
In yourself.
And that can be the stepping stone to somebody learning to even accept their vision loss. Because you know, if you can't, you're in that can't mode. I can't do this because I can't see. I can't do that because I can't see. So that helps motivate you to be able to do things because you're with other people who are blind or visually impaired and they're doing those types of things. So that could be the stepping stone to getting you from anger to acceptance and being able to move on. There is life after blindness. You just have to be willing to do things differently.
Now, do you feel that the society is more accepting as the years go on, or do you still hit a lot of roadblocks?
Oh, there's always going to be roadblocks. You can't change how people think. It doesn't even have to be blindness. It could be something else. You know, we live in a very diverse world, but not everybody is acceptance of diversity. And so it could be maybe you have a mental or an emotional disability. You have brown hair and you have blonde hair. You know, you have green eyes or brown eyes. People don't you know, accept you for all kinds of things. I for a long time would not take my cane in public because when I did, the same people who knew me without the cane, when they saw me with the cane, were very like, oh no.
Back off.
Yeah, who is she? You know, oh, you know. But it's because people are uneducated. So, and once
True.
And that's why we are there. We're there to educate, to empower, hopefully make somebody employable. And those are the people that are blind or visually impaired, but also to change the world's view on how they look at somebody who's blind or visually impaired. And I just want to mention that the white cane is not considered durable medical equipment. And you know, our CEO Larry Benders and I have been, several of us have been to Columbus and talking about that, trying to get that changed. And so Bill 587 is going to be out there. I'm not sure when it's going to be you know, over for review, but when it is, please you know, let this
Definitely, definitely. Because people in Columbus necessarily don't know all the pieces and parts of any type of DME equipment.
Well, and not only that, when they do find out, they're astounded. It's jaw-dropping to find out that, really? I mean, you would just think that this would be considered durable medical equipment, but it's not.
It's purposely excluded in the verbiage,
Yes.
saying support canes, but not white canes for the blind.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us this month. So please, if you have any questions for Tom or Alicia, give the Sight Center a call, and they'll come to your house with their tools.
Yes.
Have a good month.